Good morning, investors and traders. In today's segment, we'll be talking about crypto's meltdown. Where the prices are heading from here onwards would be the focus for this particular conversation. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, I highly recommend you to do so. Now, very briefly, risk warnings and disclosures are in front of you. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask me. Very briefly about myself, I come with a wealth of 15 years of trading experience. During this time period, I've worked as a hedge fund trader for Bank of New York Mellon, as an equity trader with Bank of America, and currently providing services as a chief analyst to EverTrade. Now, when we look at the Bitcoin's price on the daily time frame, something which really sticks out as a sore thumb is really the RSI, and that is over here. The RSI hasn't been in this particular level over here since we saw back in July, because it was only in July that we saw the prices coming into a level where they are now. So if I draw this particular arrow just line over here, you can see that this was back in July 2021 when the prices saw another sort of a meltdown in terms of the price action, was the RSI was coming into this area of oversold. So what does this really mean, and what it really tells us? What it really tells us is that the prices are likely to see a sharp movement to the upside. Why? Because now the RSI is telling us that prices are oversold. However, don't go and just start betting on this particular statement. Why? Because the RSI can actually continue to fall even further. Now, how low that RSI can go, you can see that at the back in May 2021, when we had this particular sell-off, the RSI actually dropped below that critical level of 30, because 30 is oversold and 70 is overbought. So right now, with respect to the RSI, we are looking at that July sort of levels over here, which were like around that 34, nearly in around that 34. So now if you can see from here that yes, the RSI has reached that particular critical level, which we saw back in July, but they can actually fall further, and then that means that we will have a better opportunity to buy, because if the RSI falls over here near 22, meaning if we continue to see the sell-off or more to the downside, then we could see the RSI falling in around that particular category or in that territory, and that would mean that we could see some serious sort of for buying pressure coming in. And one more important price perspective that I wanted to cover over here is that why the prices are also oversold in terms of Bollinger Band as well. So if I put the Bollinger Band over here, and the Bollinger Band, what it really says is that when the price passes the lower line of the Bollinger Band, like it did over here and over here and over here, it really tells us that the prices are way oversold. And then now we have that reading with respect to Bitcoin, because we saw this massive sell-off, we saw this massive sell-off, and of course yesterday's sell-off. So it is telling us that the prices are likely to move to the upside from here onwards. Of course, we are focused into this area of support of 37 to 38. If the price comes over here, that would be great. Otherwise, if the price doesn't come into this area, here are the two price levels in terms of the trading opportunity. Number one, the high of yesterday, and number two, the low of yesterday. If the price breaks above the highs of yesterday, you could take that breakout trade as of that and place your stop loss below the lows of today's candle. However, if the price breaks the low of yesterday, you could put your stop loss on the high of today's candle and then really continue to trade to the downside. Under that circumstances, you'll be very much targeting this particular this very short trade into this area of 37, because this is where the major support is. But if the price violates this one, then we are very much looking at this particular area of support, where it will definitely say that the prices are way oversold in terms of the price action. So two particular areas again to pay attention to. Number one is the highs of yesterday, which is right over here. And number two is the lows of yesterday. The more conviction trade is if the price breaks the highs of yesterday, then you would really target from there onwards to the next resistance level. Of course, the next resistance level is going to be that 48 sort of 48,000 sort of a price level, but an important level is going to be between 51 to 52. Now, what about the next one, the next particular important coin, and that is Ethereum. When we look at Ethereum's price action, we see very similar price action over here as well. What do I mean by that? Well, firstly, the RSI over here is already reaching to that oversold area very quickly, because this RSI, the back in which formed over here, the RSI has already gone beyond that one, and it is approaching that 30 mark very quickly. The Bollinger Band will also confirm that the prices are oversold. And then in terms of the price action, we could see that the price kind of really came into this area of support, as you can see from the chart over here. And now the prices are bouncing back to the upside. Now, in terms of the trading opportunity, again, it is going to be very similar concept, and that is going to be the high and the low of yesterday right sitting over here. The moment the price breaks either one of them, if it breaks to the downside, then we will continue, we will kind of ignore that, because this is an important area of support. But if the price breaks this important area of support, then we are likely, if the price, let me just erase that. If the price breaks this important area of support, then we are likely to move into this area of support. So let's continue to monitor them, and we'll be back with more update. Remember to subscribe and hit that like button, and we will continue to make more content. Thank you.